Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this channel is all about helping Christian entrepreneurs grow profitable kingdom businesses that can fund the assignments God has placed on their hearts. So today, I wanted to talk about something I don't believe the faith space says enough, and that is you can make a lot of money in your business, and you should want to make a lot of money in your business without justifying it or without feeling weird about it or without being afraid of it. And I know that statement can make some people feel super uncomfortable because conversations about faith and money can become unhealthy very quickly. We have all seen money manipulated, greed dressed up as blessing, and spiritual language used to pressure people. However, the fact that money can be mishandled does not mean that building a profitable business is wrong. And I'm not talking about chasing money, worshiping money, or making financial success your identity. I am talking about building the financial capacity to do what God has actually placed on your heart to do. Over the last few years of building a kingdom business, one of the biggest things I have learned is that the larger the assignment becomes, the more resources it usually requires. A coffee house costs money. A church building costs money. Private schools cost money. Missions cost money. Hiring people costs money. And paying a team well costs money. Creating products, running ads, supporting ministries, helping families, building spaces where people can gather and grow all require financial resources. The thing God has placed on your heart may cost more than you're currently making, especially if you are thinking about it at the scale He may have intended. That does not mean that you need to start striving right now, but it may mean that your current business model is not yet strong enough to carry the full vision. A lot of Christian entrepreneurs are not struggling because God wants them to remain small. They are struggling because they are afraid of what it means to become profitable. They worry that, for example, charging more makes them look greedy, that selling confidently makes them manipulative, or that wanting financial increase means they love money more than they love God. And I really believe that fear has caused a lot of people to shrink back from assignments that were meant to grow. Money is just a tool. Your business is a vehicle, and the assignment God has given you helps determine how much financial capacity you need to build. Instead of constantly asking things like, is it okay for me to make this amount of money? Maybe the better question is, what is God trying to fund through me? And am I building something capable of carrying it? That question moves the conversation away from money for money's sake, and it brings it back to stewardship, responsibility, obedience, and impact. Profit matters because profit allows a business to continue, right? Real simple. It gives you the ability to create better resources, serve more people, hire support, advertise, and make decisions from a place of wisdom instead of desperation. And that's a really important point. Money can help you pay off debt, care for your family, support your children, care for aging parents, give generously, and invest in other ministries, as well as just responding when God shows you a need. That does not mean everyone who has money uses it well. Money can expose. It can expose greed and fear and self-ambition, but so can leadership, so can influence, and so can authority. The answer is not to avoid the responsibility. The answer is to let God develop the character required to carry more. In my business, I believe God is the CEO. That does not mean that I just sit back and expect Him to do the work that He's given me the ability to do. It means I go to Him for the wisdom, for direction, for correction, for strategy, and then I take responsibility for what He shows me. And as believers, we have the Spirit of God living in us, and the Holy Spirit wants to work through us. So I still have to do the work. I still have to create the offer. I still have to build the product. I still have to write the emails, run the ads, serve the customers, look at the numbers, and make changes when something is not working, right? Then I bring the results back to God and just ask Him, like, okay, what are you showing me? What do I do with this? So we do our part, and we don't have to carry the pressure of producing the increase through our own strength. That's what's so cool. Trusting God with the increase does not mean refusing to build. Faith does not remove responsibility. Faith gives us the courage to obey, to learn, to build, and to keep moving with God without making fear our leader. So, one reason fear is so difficult to recognize in kingdom business is because it often sounds spiritual. Sometimes fear says, I just want to make sure that this is of God. Sometimes it says, I don't want this to become all about money. And sometimes it says, and these are whispers, like, I'm just waiting for the right time. And sometimes it'll show up like, I just want to help more people. I just want to serve people. I don't want to worry about the money. But you're also avoiding the things that you're supposed to be doing, right, to help people. So if you are building a business, profit is part of the responsibility. A business that does not make enough money to cover expenses or to compensate the owner or to improve the products and serve customers well will eventually not be a business. It's not sustainable. You can have a beautiful mission and still need a profitable business model. Profit does not have to corrupt the mission. Please hear me. When handled correctly, it can sustain and expand it. I knew for years that God had placed entrepreneurship in my heart, but I did not always understand what that was supposed to look like. For a long time, I was building a service-based business, and I was working hard and serving clients and learning marketing and advertising and doing, what I knew to do. That season taught me a lot, but I also knew it was not the full picture. I could not keep building a business that only depended on my time and availability. Eventually, I stopped grinding long enough to seek God for direction. I did not receive a detailed 10-year plan. I received an idea for a digital product and a simple way to sell it through a funnel. And I focused on that idea, built the product, created the funnel, learned how to sell it, and used ads to put it in front of the right people. Instead of chasing every new opportunity, I built a system around the opportunity that was already in front of me. Within about a year, I was making more money than I had ever made in all of my previous years in business combined. Okay, that financial increase changed real things for our family. We paid off debt. We sent our children to private schools. We opened up a Christian coffee house. And I remember realizing that this was why entrepreneurship had been placed in my heart. It was not so I could hustle forever, prove something, or build some type of platform just to make my name known. It was so we could fund the things that actually mattered to us, things that God was putting on our hearts. And it allowed us to say yes to things that once felt financially impossible. And now I can see that even that was only the beginning of the assignment. The vision continues to grow and the financial capacity has to grow with it. Not because I love money, but because I understand what money can do when it's in the hands of people who are submitted to God and willing to use it responsibly. I want the ability to build without being constantly limited by a lack of resources. I want the ability to pay people well, support ministries, care for my family, and respond when God shows me something that needs to be done. I do not believe that desire is sinful. I believe it is wise. It's wise stewardship. At the same time, we have to also obviously remain honest about our motives. We always need to ask whether we are building because God told us to or because we are trying to prove our worth. Because there can be a thin line. We need to ask whether we are serving people well, whether our products deliver what we promise, and whether we are treating customers like people instead of numbers. Kingdom business is not simply a regular business with Bible verses added to the sales page. It is a business built under the leadership of God, which means integrity matters, people matter, and the way we build matters. There are people who need what you know right now. There are problems that you are equipped to solve, and there are products, services, and resources you are likely called to create. If you continually shrink your message, avoid selling, or retreat every time your business starts gaining momentum, you may never develop the capacity required to carry the full assignment. This does not mean bigger is always better, and it doesn't mean every profitable opportunity is from God. There may be times when He tells you, to simplify or to shut something down or to walk away from something that could be a really big financial payday or something. The point is not to make every decision based on money. The point is to stop making every decision based on fear of money. Money does not lead, God leads. However, when God leads you towards something that requires resources, you and I both should not be ashamed of building the revenue needed to support it. And for some of you, the vision God placed in your heart is already larger than your current business model right now. You keep praying for more impact, but everything in the business still depends on you doing it manually. You keep asking for more customers, but you do not have a clear offer, a sales process, a funnel, or a reliable way to follow up. That is one reason I talk so much about, digital products, low ticket offers, funnels, email marketing, ads, things like that. These are not just marketing tactics. They are tools that create capacity. A digital product allows you to package what you know and help more than one person at a time. A funnel creates a clear path for the customer. Email marketing allows you to continue the relationship, and ads allow you to reach people beyond the current audience you have right now. Systems matter when your assignment is bigger than the number of hours you have available each day. Building systems is not less spiritual, it is wise stewardship. Learning how to sell is not manipulation when you are honest about what you offer and committed to serving people well. Looking at data is not a lack of faith. Data gives you feedback, God gives you wisdom, and then you make adjustments. When something doesn't sell, you don't have to automatically think that you failed or that, God abandoned the assignment or this business. You can ask better questions like, was the offer clear? Was the problem important enough? Did the right people see it? Was the message strong? Did I follow up? What do the numbers show me? That is stewardship. You may not know the full size of your assignment right now yet, and I know I don't know mine fully yet either. You may have the next idea, the next offer, the next step, and that is enough to begin. But you do need to make sure that you're not disqualifying yourself from financial increase before you even start. Instead of asking whether it's okay for you to make a lot of money, remember to ask whether you are willing to become someone who can steward it well. Ask what God may be trying to build through you. Ask whether your current business can carry the assignment, and ask whether fear has been disguising itself as humility. Your business exists to fund something real. It may fund your family, your ministry, your freedom, your children, a church, a school, a missionary, a team, a community. I mean, the ideas are endless, right? Maybe something God hasn't even revealed yet. Whatever the assignment is, it is time to build accordingly. Build with faith, integrity, wisdom, and clear direction. Create offers that genuinely help people. Build systems that support the work. And do not be ashamed of expecting the business to produce profit. And if you want to see what this looks like in a real business, I created Fund the Assignment to take you behind the scenes of one of my low ticket funnels. This funnel I use all the time to bring in daily sales, and it continues to fund growth in my business, or grow my business. The link is in the description. But right now, what I want to do is know, do you believe your business is meant to fund something? And have you ever felt guilty or uncomfortable about wanting to make more money? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video.